Is anybody gonna send me a comment or something? Oh, I couldn't see what that said. Oh, geez. Said something. Comments will appear here. All right. Okay, well, I'm live. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to wait until 7 o'clock, and I'm going to start playing my guitar. So if anybody is listening,
if I could get this
I am talking.
on, then I could tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it should, like I said in that one box, it should say ongoing or something like that, or happening. Live or whatever. I don't know what it says. Alrighty, here we sit. Oh, look, I just got a thumbs up from somebody. Hi, what's going on out there? Paul here.
Well, I wish I could...
Somebody sent a thumbs up. I saw it float up into the air. Ooh. So I guess I'm going to wait. I am going to wait till 7.
Better, yeah.
And then I will start playing that little instrumental piece to let more people get signed in. I have a line that says comments will show up here. Yeah. I don't see any comments, but I did see a thumbs up go floating into the air. So I guess it's work. Oh, here's a comment. But you know what? I can't see him from here. It's Barbara Holland Golden. We'll check back with you shortly. All right, Barbara, check back shortly. 7 o'clock. According to whatever electronic atomic clock you have working for you. So I guess it's working. Cool.
I wish I could get on.
Somebody can.
I know, I see that.
I don't, this Facebook is very unintuitive, at least for crusty old people like me. But here's to you. All right, but boy, I sure can't read those messages. They're far away and small. Oh, there's another message. John, and another thumbs up. St. John's Cultural Council. Oh, we've got you. Or we got you, we see you. We see you, we see you. Wow, I don't have glasses that work over that kind of distance. I need binoculars. Maybe I should get a pair of binoculars and just look at that. I mean, it's only 3 feet with this little bitty print. We see you. Oh, hi, can you hear me too? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me too. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Alrighty, well, according to my watch, we have 9 minutes till music. Ta-da. Does that make sense? I don't know. Whatever. Oh, here's another one. St. John's Cultural Council. We can what? We can see and hear you. We can see and hear you. Okay, I guess we're going. We're rolling.
Don't start till 7 then.
So, St. John's Cultural Council, here's a question for you. Do you or Facebook cut these off at some limit at 8 o'clock? And if I'm running, 2 or 3 minutes late, will that just get abruptly stopped? I know that John Dickey didn't get stopped like that last night. He ran a little bit over. Neely Ann Qualls Miller is watching.
I can't get on.
Oh, man. My wife Barbara's in the next room trying to get on another phone to see this. And boy, I'll tell you, it is such a challenge to find the live feed and actually see it. But hi, Neely. Oh, here's another one. Nick is on. Nick is on. St. John's Cultural. Uh-oh. I got to lean forward to read those, though. What? It's okay if you run over a bit. You'll have to end the stream yourself. Cool. Nicole Linser is watching. Bob Gainley is watching. All right, cool.
Hi, everybody.
Well, Barbara says hi, everybody. I can't see anything with the glasses on from here because they're old man readers, you know. You buy them at Publix or whatever. Oh, thumbs up. Thank you. Whatever. Well, we're getting close. Getting close. I'm gonna pick up my git fiddle.
Dan Fiddle's listening.
Oh, you're seeing something now, Barb?
No,
No. You're not seeing something.
I just saw his name there, but he was.
Oh. Well, I don't know how you can hear me from there, so you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Can't look at your messages though.
Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I see more names showing up. More thumbs up. Another Linser. I can't see who that is. One of my relatives. Is that Nick, Nicole? I don't know. You know, St. John looks and sounds good. All right, cool. Well, I'm Dr. Paul. You all know that. You wouldn't be here, I'm sure. And, oh my goodness, more names, more people. Mark, Alan, oh man, Johnston. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the instrumental piece. Well, no, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. You know, the instrumental piece is just to provide time for people to fight the battle of getting hooked up to this, and I really want to give them the chance if they're not going to tune in until 7 o'clock. But I could play a song that's not on my playlist while I'm waiting. How's that? About a Bob Dylan song, one that you've all heard me do before. And Bob Dylan actually did have a place in the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival. Thanks to the folks at the amphitheater. He had a concert at the amphitheater on a Sunday night, which closed out the weekend of the Gamble Rogers Festival. It wasn't properly our concert, but we were tied and our advertising was tied. So here's the Bob Dylan song that people have heard me do many times. I've seen love go by my door, never been this close before, never been so easy or so slow. I've been shooting in the dark too long, something ain't right, it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds high above, I've only known careless love. It's always hit me from below. This time round it's more correct, right on target, so direct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Purple clover, Queen Anne's lace, crimson hair across your face. You could make me cry if you don't know. But I can't remember what I was thinking of. You might be spoiling me too much love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Flowers on the hillside blooming crazy, crickets talking back and forth in rhyme. Blue river running slow and lazy. Well, I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. Situations have ended sad, relationships have all been bad. Might have been like Berlin and Rambo. There's no way I can tell all those to this affair. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Gonna make me wonder what I'm doing, staying far behind without you. Gonna make me wonder what I'm saying. You're gonna make me give yourself good talking to. Well, I'll look for you in old Honolulu, San Francisco, and Ashtabula. Gonna have to leave soon, I know. But I'll see you in the sky above, in the tall grass and the ones I love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Well, I'll look for you in old Honolulu, San Francisco, and Ashtabula. Gonna have to leave soon, I know. But I'll see you in the sky above, in the tall grass and the ones I love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Gonna make me lonesome when you go. Ah, there you go, Bob Dylan. All right. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So, Barb, have you been able to tune it in? Nope. Oh, dear. You want to come here and sit on the floor and read my messages? You could. I mean, I can't see them from here. I mean, and there may not be anything I really need to do, but anyway, okay. So I'm going to play a little instrumental piece, and then I will continue talking as I have already apparently started talking. Nope, gotta retune. I play a lot of things in drop D. What'd you say, Barb?
I found you.
Oh, my wife she's watching. Cool. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Paul Linser, coming to you from the Smoky Mountains up in North Carolina in the Linser Hermitage, our new home up in the mountains, my retirement home, our retirement home. I keep going. Barb is in the next room over there. And it's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank Mike Lagacy and the Cultural Council folks for pulling this together and for actually allowing me to be involved in this. I've been involved with the festival for most of its years, not all of its years. What are you listening to, Barb?
Nothing. I have a message for you.
Oh, she has a message for me. Anyway, and what I'd like to do tonight is, first of all, I'm up in the mountains. It's going down into the 30s tonight up here. How about that? Got my Mountain Man shirt on. I hope you like it. I do. It's very comfortable. And what I would like to do tonight is sort of tie together some performance, some stories, and some many, many thank yous to all of the people who have been involved with the festival over its quarter century in America's oldest city, St. Augustine. So the amphitheater is a big player in everything that's happened with the festival. And the festival started at the old St. Augustine Amphitheater, the Cross and Sword, in 1995. And it was brought together by primarily three individuals. So Jim Springfield, who was the principal at Gamble Rogers Middle School, Dan Downs, who was a history teacher there, and Bob Patterson. And Bob Patterson is the only person who has been continuously involved with the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival Incorporated longer than me, which is, I'm not bragging, I got sucked in, and the love just held on to me for 23 years. And over the course of that 25 years, many, many people have come and performed at the festival for whatever reasons. And we've had stars from across the planet. We've had stars from our part of the galaxy. We've had stars from Northeast Florida, and we've had up-and-comers and people on their way, and it's been amazing. And Bob Patterson, the artistic director of the festival, has been largely, not exclusively, but largely responsible for bringing the talents. And so what I would like to do tonight is sing some songs. I'm going to sing some original songs, and I'm going to sing some covers from people who have performed at the festival who particularly struck a particular chord with me. And I'm going to check my tuning just a little bit right now, because I'm going to do an original song to lead off the night. And when you get involved in folk music, no matter where you are, but it's certainly in the state of Florida, one of the things that comes across your plate pretty quickly is, can you write a song about here, where you are? And my family and I moved to St. Augustine in 1982. So we've lived there for much more than half of my life and my wife's life. And we've loved St. Augustine. It was a little drinking town with a fishing problem when we got there, which it really isn't anymore. It's quite the tourist attraction now. But when I think about what I have witnessed watching Florida grow and morph and evolve over the years, I came up with lyrics, and I hope you like them. It's called What's Yours Is Mine.
Nicole wants you to say hi to Rylan, Papa, and
Oh,
also to Eloise.
My granddaughters are listening. Hi, Eloise. Hi, Rylan. So good for you. Look at this. Can you see your pictures? There are your pictures. My two granddaughters right there on my teacup. Anyway, back to the music. Thank you for your indulgence. There you go. Good word. 5,000 years before pharaohs built monuments in sand, people came from far away to this flowered land. With their hands and their tools of wood and bone, they claimed to this place sky and sea and strand. Long before people, creatures large and small, come to find a balance in this forest without walls. Soon the needs of man made the winds change to blow for the mammoths of the land and the smallest things that crawl. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it. It's been that way since the start of time. All over the world, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it, it'll be that way to the end of time. All over the world. Plans of men found balance on this shore, but one day felt the winds of change blow off the sea once more. From across the ocean's endless foamy scape, wooden ships with canvas sails came with greed aboard. With guns of steel and armored breast, conquistadors came to claim all the best. In the name of God and King and Queen, put the Florida native to the age-old test. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it. It's been that way since the start of time. All over the world, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it, it'll be that way to the end of time. All over the world. Kings and queens and presidents traded lives and lands with paper documents. Pioneers came seeking a place to claim and own, clear cutting all the trees, never thinking what it meant. Put down roots from the Gulf to the sea, planted miles and miles of exotic trees, drained the swamps and the Everglades, make more room for their endless greed. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it. It's been that way since the start of time. All over the world, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it, it'll be that way to the end of time. All over the world. Place we call Florida is home to many a man, but the march of time and the hands of man have left scars in the sand. Every passing day more people come to stay, but I can't help but wonder who really owns this wild and flowered land. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it. It's been that way since the start of time. All over the world, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. As long as I can take it, as long as I can keep it, it'll be that way to the end of time. All over the world, all over the world, all over the world. There you go, what's yours is mine. Florida, any part of it, or any part of America, any part of the world that you can grab onto and hold onto, you know, if you're strong enough, it's yours. Anyway, so over the years of the Gamble Rogers Festival, as I've mentioned already, probably several times, lots of different performers came up onto our stages, and they were just, almost all of them were just freaking amazing. And one of the performers that I discovered personally, for my personal life, back in the early days of the festival at the old amphitheater, was a guy who actually lives up here in North Carolina, in Asheville. His name, that sounds all right, David Wilcox. And I remember seeing him on the stage at the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival. And I think it was a fairly chilly night the first time I saw him, but we had him a couple of times. He came a couple of times. I saw him a couple of times at Cafe 11 in St. Augustine. I actually saw him out in Santa Barbara, California one time. California one time. And I love what he does. He writes amazing lyrics. He plays strangely but beautifully. I mean, the tunings he uses on his guitar are very challenging, and I don't like to retune anything except the bass string for a D every now and then. And his banter between his songs is so rich and philosophical and psychological, and he warms your heart. And he's just one of many, many stars that I've seen that have made me feel like I'm part of his life. And so here's one of his songs. It's a song that's very appropriate for Florida. It's called The Eye of the Hurricane. The tank is full, the switch is on. Night is warm, the cops are gone. Rocket bike is all her own. It's called the Hurricane. She told me once it's quite a ride. Shapes of this is place inside. If you're moving, you can hide, safe within the rain. She wants to run away, but there's nowhere to go. Nowhere the pain won't come again. But she can hide in the pouring rain. She rides the eye of a hurricane. I asked her, please explain to me what must be the next best thing to love. Hope is gone, she confessed. When you've laid your dreams to rest, you can get what's second best, but it's hard to get enough. She wants to run away, but there's nowhere to go. Nowhere the pain won't come again. But she can hide in the pouring rain. She rides the eye of a hurricane. We saw her ride so fast last night, racing by a flash of light. Racing past the streets were dark. The shiny truck she thought was parked blocked her path, stopped her heart, but not the hurricane. Thought she saw a place in back, space where she might slip the trap, and it moved, closed the gap she never built. She wants to run away, but there's nowhere to go. Nowhere the pain won't come again. But she can hide in the pouring rain. She rides the eye of a hurricane. She rides the eye of a hurricane. She rides the eye of a hurricane. Well, there you go, David Wilcox. Great singer-songwriter. If you're not familiar with him, he's got a plethora of albums. He tours pretty much incessantly these days. He took a couple of years off a little while back, and I'm hoping that my wife and I will actually be able to go see him in Nashville, where he plays frequently. So let's see, what am I going to do next? Okay. So in that context of singer-songwriters, performers coming to the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival and becoming part of the discovery in my life. I'm going to take a little sip here. I was made aware personally of a lot of stars that I didn't know much about, performers that I didn't know much about. And in a bunch of occasions, because of Bob Patterson's efforts, everybody was made aware of performers that they were not all that familiar with yet, but they subsequently became familiar with. And one of the stars that wasn't quite a star yet when she came to our festival was Gillian Welsh with her guitar player David Rawlings. And they played in the old amphitheater, and as I recall the story, if I recall it correctly, Sam Passetti knew something about her, and this was before she had any Grammys, and before she became the superstar that she is now. But she just blew the audience away with the simplicity and the honesty of what she does musically. And David Rawlings with his archtop F-hole guitar and his picking is just something that, you know, I would love to emulate, but I ain't gonna try. So here's one of her songs that just brings to mind those old days in the old amphitheater with rising stars on the stage. At least 20 acres and one Jenny mule from the Alabama Trust. For half of the cotton and a third of the corn, we get a handful of dust. But you cannot have all things to please us, no matter how we try, till we've all gone to Jesus. We can only wonder why. I had a daughter named her Annabelle. She was the apple of my eye. Wanted to give her all the things I've never had. Didn't want to ever hear her cry. But we cannot have all things to please us, no matter how we try, till we've all gone to Jesus. We can only wonder why. When I die, I'll take a lifetime of tears, every day I've ever known. Poor Annabelle, well, she got nothing at all, just these words on a stone. We cannot have all things to please us, no matter how we try, till we've all gone to Jesus. We can only wonder why. At least 20 acres and one Jenny mule from the Alabama Trust. half of the cotton and a third of the corn. We get a handful of dust. Gillian Welsh, but arranged by Ed Lowe, my partner in Paradox. For those of you who have seen me perform before, frequently I'm with Ed Lowe, and that was, excuse me, his arrangement of that. I'm going to have to take another sip here. So what? What?
Never mind, go ahead.
Anyway, okay, so one of the supporters, I mean, there are many people, organizations, businesses who have supported the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival in its 25-year history, and an hour is not nearly enough time to enumerate and name all of the people, all of the organizations, all of the great supporters that the festival has had over the year, all of the love that has come from so many directions. But one of the most important supporters has been the amphitheater folks, what is now known as the AMP. You know, starting with Tommy Bledsoe back when it was still the old amphitheater to Ryan Murphy, Ryan Detra in the middle there, Gabe Pellissier, and Diana Markovitz, and all the other people who are involved with the festival. They have always believed in us and believed, I think, that part of the reason that the St. Augustine Amphitheater was invested in, that the county put $9 million into renovating it and then hired really good people to expand it to be the world-class venue that it is now, was because the little old Gamble Rogers Folk Festival started there and brought in 5,000 people. And over the course of a weekend, and that was pretty amazing. And of course, that was at a time when on the calendar, the musical calendar of St. Augustine, there wasn't a whole lot going on. There was a little, but there wasn't a lot of recurring stuff. And so for a while, we enjoyed a very elevated place, and we started working into that heritage festival of St. Augustine sort of status. But also in that time, lots of other things started happening. So everything has spread out quite a bit. But the staff of the amphitheater have always been very supportive of us and have done all kinds of things to help us, no matter where the venue is that we are producing the festival, whether it be at the amphitheater, the county fairgrounds, downtown St. Augustine, and now in the Colonial Quarter. They've always been a big help. And one of the things that they have done for us to help us along was to make it possible for us to attend concerts at the amphitheater that went to audiences that were sort of appropriate for us as well. Not in competition, but bigger audiences for bigger names, for bigger acts, and allowed us to come to these concerts and hand out flyers about the things that we're doing and to announce and advertise for us the events that we were doing. And in one of those cases, my wife Barbara and I were allowed to come to a John Hyatt and, what's his name, Barb? Lyle Lovett. There we go. It's an old brain up here. There's lots of cobwebs up here. A Lyle Lovett concert. And it was phenomenal. And how this really connects beyond that is going to come up in just a second. So we went, we handed out, hundreds and hundreds of flyers to the audience, and I don't know what they were for an upcoming concert or the festival. But when it was all over, my wife and I headed down through the amphitheater bowl to the back parking lot. So we were parked back there next to the tour buses and all that fun stuff. And as we were walking back to our car, Gabe Pellissier is up on the loading dock, and he says, "Paul, Barb, come on up here." So we came up there, and we were just chatting because he was such a hard-working member of the crew that helped us put on the festival in downtown and at the old amphitheater and the new amphitheater. And so we're just chatting, and as I look down the hallway, see my hands going that way, look down the hallway towards the dressing rooms, here comes this long, tall Texan with a 10-gallon hat, cowboy boots, and embroidered jacket. And it's Lyle Lovett. And I have reasons to love Lyle Lovett's music for different stories. But he comes walking up, and Gabe looks at me and says, "You want to meet him?" I said, "Well, sure." So he flags him over. He comes over, and we introduce by name and stuff. And Gabe says, and he's with the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival. And I give Lyle Lovett one of our flyers, and he looks at it, and he says right into my eyes, "Sorry is as sorry does." And I'm just like, you know, and that's a Gambleism. We all know what Gambleisms are. And I look up at him and I went, "Really? You know about this?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." He said, "I opened for Gamble Rogers back at the beginning of my career a couple of times." Go figure. So here's a Lyle Lovett song. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We would all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. If I was Roy Rogers, I'd sure enough be single. Couldn't bring myself to marry an old belle. It'd just be me and Trigger riding through those movies, and we'd buy a boat, and on the sea we'd sail. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We would all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. The mystery masked man was smart, he got himself a Tonto. Tonto did the dirty work for free. But Tonto, he was smart, and one day he said, "Kemosabe, kiss my ass, I bought a boat and I'm going out to sea." Yeah, if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We would all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. If I was white lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. Come and go exactly as I please. And I'd scare 'em by the lamppost, and I'd scare 'em by the shade tree, but I would not scare my pony on my boat out on the sea. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We would all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony on my boat. There you go, Lyle Lovett, If I Had a Boat. I got to reach over here for a second because the open window just blew my page back so I can't see my playlist. So don't go away. I got a hold of it. You never lost sight of my smiling face. There we go. All right. So as I said, there's a lot of people to thank, and I'm just not gonna spend the whole night thanking people, but I could, and I would. And when we get back to Florida, I'd love to. So I'm going to do a song now that actually doesn't have anything really to do with the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival. It's one that I fell in love with when I was a teenager, and it was part of the sort of rock pantheon way back when in the 60s. I'm thinking fairly early 60s. But by request, I'm going to do this song. And a couple of years ago, Alison Krauss, who I think is one of the most fabulous performers who've ever lived on planet Earth, and Alison Krauss in Union Station was probably one of the best acts I've ever seen anywhere. They never made it to the Gamble Rogers Festival, but they did make it to the amphitheater a couple of times, and it was amazing. But anyway, Alison Krauss covered this song, and then I said, aha, it's now part of the folk music pantheon as well, and so I can do it. And in my other band, Sunset Monday, our vocalist, Jessica Roberts-Misterly, I don't know if she's watching tonight or not, but she brought it to us one night, to myself and Wayne Howell, the other guitarist in the group, and I said, oh yeah, finally, I get to do this song. So here, I Can't Find My Way Home. Come down on your own and leave your body at home. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've waited so long. Somebody holds a key, but I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. Now I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Down off your throne and leave your money at home. Somebody must change. You are the reason I waited all these years. Somebody holds the key, but I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. Now I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Just ain't got the time. Now I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. No, I can't find my way home. Can't find my way home, but I ain't done nothing wrong. Can't find my way home. Blind Faith, Stevie Winwood, Alison Krauss, or whatever. Okay, so stories about the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival. Well, you know, there are 1,000 stories and 1,000 performers. And if you like this kind of music, turn into Radio Free Ocklawaha County every Saturday morning from 7 to 9:30 a.m. to listen to the music, the stories, the news of the Gamble Rogers Festival on into the next 25 years. So let's see, what do we got? Okay, so my next song is another original song. And it's a hero worship song. It's about my hero, Bob Patterson. And Bob has been a friend, a soulmate in this enterprise of keeping the Gamble Rogers Festival going and bringing it to what it is now, whatever that may be. And I am, as you all probably know, I am retiring from the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival, or I have retired. This evening tonight could possibly be my swan song. Who knows? I don't want to say that. But I'm up here in North Carolina. I came up here the first weekend of March. My wife's been up here since November, and I haven't been able to come back because of this COVID-19 thing. And I can tell you, I don't want to get it. I just don't think I would do well with that one. So we're sticking it out up here in Macon County, North Carolina, where in the entire stretch of this COVID-19 issue, there have been 2 cases in the entire county, and they were 6 weeks ago. So we're in one of the safest places in the country, and one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. It's just gorgeous, the mountains around, anyway, I won't rub it in. But we're loving it up here, and I thank you for tuning in tonight. And we're not done by any stretch of the imagination, but I want to make sure I get in my Bob Patterson song. So this is Uncle Bob's Friends. In a hand of wooden boat, 2 friends paddle side by side. One is just a remembered ghost from a long past nobler time. Other is true flesh and blood, calloused fingers and local pride. Kindred spirits homeward bound, on the old Ocklawaha they ride. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend, he's changed my life time and again. 12-string guitar in his hands, songs of life in Florida sands. Know he's coming from far away, patchouli halo always leading the way. Gamble spirit always close at hand. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend. Long ago and far away, Bob set his sights on the public stage, and the spotlight or not, made his mark, picking his way to the music charts. Flower-powered roots and a willing to dare, an old hippie now who was really there, but memories are lost in a purple haze. Proof he was part of those bygone days. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend, he's changed my life time and again. 12-string guitar in his hands, songs of life in Florida sands. You know he's coming from far away, patchouli halo always leading the way. Gamble spirit always close at hand. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend. Psychedelic dreams and barroom fogs, colorful tales, a snake named Frog, slash of tequila here and there. Bob will suck you into his tail. Pick it clean, oh, pick it funky. Please the crowd, you'll make gobs of money. Big as a gate no matter when or where. Do your best and go out with a flare. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend, he's changed my life time and again. 12-string guitar in his hands, songs of life in Florida sands. You know he's coming from far away, patchouli halo always leading the way. Gamble spirit always close at hand. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend. Coming round that river bend, the boat picked up another old friend. The black cat troubadour on angel's wings, made it a trio of Ocklawaha strings, singing high and singing low, souls united in the flow. Down the river and up the day, 3 spirits, 1 heart, show us the way. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend, he changed my life time and again. 12-string guitar in his hands, songs of life in Florida sands. You know he's coming from far away, patchouli halo always leading the way. Will and gamble always close at hand. Uncle Bob is my dear old friend. Uncle Bob is your dear old friend. Uncle Bob is Florida's friend. Ta-da! Uncle Bob. I did it. Alrighty. Cool. I only forgot lyrics once and you didn't know. Anyway, okay, so, stories of the Gamble Rogers Festival. Arlo Guthrie, The Haunting, the ghost in the piano. One that really comes to mind. I mean, that's one that the people who were there back in the old amphitheater on this really chilly, drizzly night, Arlo Guthrie had just decided to start touring again. Bob Patterson got him when he was affordable to us. He is not affordable anymore, but he was affordable to us. And he played with his guitar, and then his piano started to play itself. And I was there, and I had it on a VCR cassette tape at some point. I don't know where it ended up, but it started to play itself. And man, he looked over at that and what? You know, and he was about to go play it, and he said, you know, I'm not going to touch that thing because it doesn't know how to do that on its own. I don't know what's going on here, you know. So the whole audience is kind of going, Gamble Rogers is here, Gamble Rogers is here. But anyway, that was a real highlight. Another highlight for me personally was I got to sit in a room with one of my folk gurus, Richie Havens. I got to sit and chat with him for about 45 minutes before one of the concerts that we brought him to town for at the Lewis Auditorium at Flagler College. And, you know, it was just him and me while he was stringing his guitar, and we talked. And if you are interested, you should find me sometime and ask me for the details, because he was right there. And that was the bottom line of what he said to me. But there have been many stars, many people like that, many interactions that I've just felt the love coming from the audience, coming from the performers. That intermingling of that magic has just made the Gamble Rogers Festival what I consider to be really the heritage festival of little old St. Augustine, America's oldest city. Well, one of the years we did the festival in downtown St. Augustine at 8 stages around town. We brought in what was probably, arguably at the time, one of the biggest acts we had ever brought in. And this was Richard Thompson. And I have to retune again. And Richard Thompson, I got to introduce him. He played at the Marina stage. For those of you who attended the festival when it was in downtown St. Augustine, you probably went to see Richard Thompson at the Marina stage. And we had a tent set up in the back to act as a green room. And so he and I got to chat for a little while before he went on stage, and that was really very interesting. And I remember I requested a song by the wrong name. And I just had the wrong, and he just kind of looked at me like, yeah, I don't think I'll do that one. And I just felt that I didn't realize till afterwards that I had completely screwed up the name of it. But it wasn't this song. But we had a volunteer for many years, and there are so many volunteers that I should name. We had a guy named Joe Rossi, and my wife just let out a sigh. Joe Rossi was, what a sweetheart, what a hardworking guy, what a great guy. He just worked round the clock. He was never on the board. But, you know, in our storage trailer, there must be 150 hand-painted get to the festival signs that Joe Rossi did himself. And unfortunately, he passed away after a motorcycle accident. And I got to sing this song, which was his favorite song. And I got to sing this song at his funeral. That's a fine motorbike. Girl could feel special on any such bike. Says James to that Molly, my hat's off to you. Vincent Black Lightning, 1952. And I've seen you on the corners and at the cafe. It seems that hair and black leather, my favorite color scheme. They pulled her all behind, down to Box Hill. They did right. tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. For I fought with the law since I was 17. God made a man to get my Vincent machine. 21 now and I might make 22. Don't mind dying but for the love of you. And the fate should break my stride. Give you my Vincent to ride. Cried Sergeant McCrae, but they've taken young James in an armed robbery. Shot the last to the chest, left nothing inside. Come down on Red Money with his dying bedside. There was nothing much left. He was running out of road, he was running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry. Said, I'll give you my Vincent to write. In my opinion, cried James, there ain't nothing in this world. He's a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. And Morton's and Greaves and we just want to. They don't have the soul of the Vincent Vincent. For her hands and he gave her keys. I'll not have any further stories. I see angels and burials and rivers and crows. Looking down from heaven and carry me home. He gave her one last kiss and then died. Vincent, 52 black lightning to ride. There you go, 52 black lightning. Vincent, 50, whatever. Anyway, Richard Tom, I'm gonna have to take a drink. Can you tell my voice is like fading away here? Oh, well, what'd you say, Barb?
Pine pollen.
Pine pollen. Oh yeah. We're in the peak of pollen season up here. Spring is very protracted here in the mountains. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. But boy, the pollen just goes on and on and on. All right, let me check my timepiece. See what we've got here. Okay, well, I'm gonna do one more song. After I talk a little bit more, and those of you who know me well or have seen me introducing acts on the stages at the festival over the years know I certainly have the gift of gab. And whether that's a gift or just, I don't know, but I do a lot of talking. I can do a lot of talking. I can tell stories. If you want some stories about I don't want to go into, my wife would be so embarrassed if I started telling any of those stories, so I won't go into that. So, in any event, but I am going to do a song by one of my favorite ever songwriters, favorite people I've met at the Gamble Rogers Festival over the years, and the favorite of, I think, very many people. And that's Michael Peter Smith from Chicago, Illinois. And Michael Smith is the author of Margaret and the Dutchman, which anybody who followed Gamble Rogers or has come into the fold over the 25 quarter century history of the Gamble Rogers Festival is familiar with that song. And it's, I'm not going to sing that song. A lot of people cover that beautifully, and I'm not going to do that one. But I did meet Margaret. She was Michael's sister. She came to one of the concerts where we featured him. And I've certainly met Michael a bunch of different times. And interesting, philosophical kind of guy. Smart guy. A great songwriter. And he has so many songs that I would like to steal or just perform in his honor. And here is one that it's a beautiful love song. And I'll dedicate this to the audiences of the festival whose magic, whose aura, whose love stimulated so many of us to keep it going for a quarter of a century, and hopefully to keep it going into the future. Looking into your eyes, I see so far away, right in my own backyard. To have visions like this, not so hard to come by. When a word and a kiss can take the world away. Taking me to Paris, or you're never gonna hear me saying that you never take me anywhere, 'cause the places you've been taking me to are way, way closer to home. I can't determine where I'm going, but wherever it is, you take me there, you take me rattle our windows, hotter the sand on this beach where we run, bluer the skies, greener the billows, whiter the strand, the brighter the sun. Though you haven't taken me to Paris or Rome, you're never gonna hear me saying that you never take me anywhere, 'cause the places you've been taking me to are way, way closer to home. I can't determine where I'm going, but wherever it is, you take me there. listeners ones who has to say about hometowns. If your life is true, you don't have to go far to have heaven and earth on the rim of your doorway, to see oceans and skies everywhere that you are. Even though you haven't taken me to Paris or Rome, you're never gonna hear me saying that you never take me anywhere, 'cause the places you've been taking me to are way, way closer to home. I can't determine where I'm going, but wherever it is, you take me there. You take me there. Alrighty, Michael Peter Smith from Chicago, Illinois. So I'm going to round this, I'm going to end by just giving a lot of thank yous. I want to thank the Cultural Council, not only for what they're doing for live performance now, but all of the support that they have given the Gamble Rogers Festival over the year. The Tourist Development Council has given the festival a lot of support. The Visitors and Convention Bureau, we have gotten lots of support from St. Johns County. The Park Service, the amphitheater people, the list goes on and on. All of the sponsors who have donated money over the years to the festival have made it possible. Keep it possible, and I hope you will keep it possible. And I want to, most of all, I want to thank all the volunteers. All of these people I've come to know and love so dearly over the years. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night for Bob Patterson. How about John Dickey last night? Wasn't that awesome? And the Skinny on Monday, and on Friday it's the Willow Wax. If you're not familiar with them, and then all next week there's another bunch. So thank you very much for being here. This is Dr. Paul signing off from the mountains.